He's going to be flying it. It does have a BRS parachute and glass and much more. You can call Phil Mednick at 813-293-4030. And that's Phil Mednick in the Skycatcher when he comes back around. That'll be a 2011 Cessna 162 Skycatcher that he'll be flying. How's it going?
That seems to be a theme. You're like the 8th person that said that today.
I understand. You probably recognized me from the post office wall, didn't you?
So that speaker not working at all? Okay.
That hurts, doesn't it? He said he thought that I was from inside the prison. Did you recognize what prison were you in, sir?
I don't say.
Okay. That's pretty good. So, like we're saying, all kinds of activity here. The Seoul National demonstration that was here early, we had 23 feet that Steve Henry did. Had some very, very good launches from others. You see the numbers out there. And those numbers are so that they can measure the distance at that green cone, the neon green cone. There's a line across the runway. What they're going to do is they're going to put the main gear at that line, and when they're ready and the officials let them know, they'll go ahead and power up and launch as fast as they can, get as much power on it, and get off the ground as quick as they can. Then after they launch, they'll go around, get into the pattern, and then come around to land. When they come around to land, they will make sure that their main gear goes past that white chalk line again. Once they get past the white chalk line, they drop it in, and then they have to stop completely. By stopping completely, then they measure that distance. The score typically is from the starting line to where they lifted off, plus from the starting line to where they stopped after they landed. They add that all together. Now, these aircraft have different classes. There's, I think, 4 different classes of aircraft. So that way you can't basically have an unfair advantage because your aircraft is a lot lighter or a lot more power and things like that. This is the Air Cam again. He's been flying quite a bit today. And I believe they're trying to sell either that aircraft or another one like it. So these are typically prospective buyers that have been going up in this Aircom pretty much all day. And if I remember right, his name is McGee that's flying it. My wife gave me that information earlier, but during the panic of trying to get everything back in operational, I didn't bring it with me. He looks pretty happy, though, doesn't he? Looks pretty happy. And this is the Skycatcher, and that's Amelia in there. That's Amelia. That's the Skycatcher right there. This is the one that's for sale. And what you see up there is an Aeropract A22, Aeropract A22, and they are in LP26 right over there. That Aeropract is a very nice aircraft, and I think that's Mary McGee, I believe. I have to look at her name. Mary is flying that one, and she'll be coming back around in a little bit. They're in LP26 right there. This Skycatcher that Phil Mednick is actually taxiing up, and it had little Amelia. Amelia is our junior media team member. She is quite vivacious and has more energy than the Energizer Bunny. She jumps and runs. Please calm down. But anyway, Phil Mednick, he's from Evolution Aircraft, and he's going to be flying that 2011 Cessna 162 Skycatcher. It is for sale, and it's like new. It's got a BRS parachute and glass panels, ADS-B, and a lot more. And really, call Phil up at 813-293-4030. And they're also in Evolution, I think they're in booth 16, sorry, booth 16. I'm going to have to get that list. There's the, I was waiting for you to say it, Kit. Okay, I'll say it this time. It's a Kit Fox Model 4 with a Rotex engine. Listen to that engine, everybody. Doesn't that sound great? I love the sound of a rotary engine. Rotary engines just have that special sound. You know, Harley is good, but that rotary engine has just got the nice sound to it. I really, really like that. That's a Kit Fox Model 4. originally finished in 1992 with a Rotex 912, converted over to the radial 4 years ago. Hey, I like you. You should stick around. I've got some money in my pocket. Will you stick around? He helped do all the work. Excellent. Hey, he's got some skills, everybody. This is Blair Kendall right here. Hey, Blair. He's responsible to safely move the aircraft around this particular area in Paradise City, make sure everybody stays safe. And the autogyro Cavalon again. This is Bob Snyder is going to be in this one, unless they've changed up the pilot again. They do that frequently. Autogyro Cavalon, beautiful aircraft, absolutely beautiful. And here's the Skycatcher. The Cessna 2011 Skycatcher, 162 Skycatcher, light sport aircraft, and it's for sale. Glass panels, BRS, and much more. Phil Mennick and Evolution Aircraft, he would love for you to buy that aircraft. I think he's selling it for a friend. Does anybody have any questions about how this STOL demonstration is gonna be? There's that Kit Fox version 4. And I see an individual out there with an Air Force hat on. Go Air Force, all right. I'm former Air Force. This is a Just Aircraft here. Just Aircraft Super STOL. Just Aircraft has a exhibition booth right over there, right behind us. And I'm going to look for the number. I believe that's LP16. What's that? That's Gary Schmidt in that one. Can I have the orange? Yep, I just said I need the orange that's got the map and the exhibitors. That's Gary Schmidt. Thank you very much. That's LP20, Gary Schmidt in that Just Aircraft Super STOL right there. And it's planefunaircraft.com. Planefunaircraft.com if you want to go check them out. And that's Jonathan on the little four-wheeler. He just had a birthday. He's just a pup. That's a Carbon Cub. Unfortunately, that Carbon Cub, I do not have any information on that particular one. I don't know the pilot's name or anything about that particular Carbon Cub. And it looks like that's an Aeropract that's coming back. Aeropract, I think that's we'll see in a minute. It's orange. I may be totally off base. In fact, I look over there, I see the A32 Vixen is still parked, so that's not it. As soon as they get a little closer, we'll tell you what that one is. And like I said, Evolution Aircraft is an LP16, and they're the ones that have that Cessna Skycatcher, Cessna 162 Skycatcher for sale. Phil Mednick is offering that. Okay. I don't know. If I was to tell you, I wouldn't be telling the truth. They may have. I really couldn't tell you for sure. All right, this is the A22 Aeropract. That's why it looked like an Aeropract, but this is the A22 in the magenta color. And I think, oh, that's Sam Peachy flying that one, everybody. I love Sam Peachy's name, Sam Peachy. Sam Peachy's flying that A22 Aeropract. Very nice aircraft. They're right there in LP26. That's Aeropract. Aeropract LP26. And Autogyro again. Autogyro Cavalon. Autogyro Cavalon. And they're in LP25. Very, very nice. You heard the folks talking about it earlier today. How's it going? What's your name today?
Luke Lacey.
Lacey, how you doing?
Great.
Are you enjoying Sun and Fun Paradise City 2022?
Yes.
If you turn around and look up there, there's a camera there. We're on web camera. A lot of people are looking. You want to say hi to anybody?
Hi.
You just say hi to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you have fun. Are you going to be a pilot one day?
Maybe.
Well, good for you. Keep your grades good. Keep your well, you know, hey, he could be a doctor, right? He could be a doctor and save lives, right?
Right.
Just don't be a politician, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, what? Did I just say that? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Okay. Tell one of them to come up. All right. Right there. Geez, I didn't get to see what it was. Was that the M squared? Pardon? Flight Star, M squared Flight Star. No, it's Flight Star. That's a Flight Star. I didn't get to see it in the sun right there. I was talking to my corn guys. Apparently, the corn vendors are here, and trust me on this, an ear of corn is unbelievable. They cook them up. Here's the air cam again. The air cam. So I want one of the guys to come up here. And my wife and I had a couple of ears of corn from these guys last night, night before. Very, very good. They're going to be selling the ears of corn right here. It's got butter on it. It's all kinds of good stuff. And here he comes right now. So what's your name, sir?
John. John.
All right, John. And you've got corn. Tell us about your corn.
Well, it's some corn from South Florida. It's just on the South Shore of Lake Okeechobee. They picked it last week. Our guys go down there and pick it up. It's all to support Chapter 635, EAA Chapter 635 out of DeLand, Florida.
And how much is an ear of corn of this fabulous corn?
$3 an ear.
It's only $3 an ear.
Fresh roasted corn, $2 for sodas or waters.
And I highly recommend it. Like I said, my wife and I had it yesterday, day before yesterday. Really, really good. If you guys are hungry at all, go get it. Here's the Aeropract A22 again. Aeropract A22, LP26. That'll cruise about 110 miles an hour. There's the Kit Fox version 4. Yes, and this the Skycatcher is 2011, and you're saying it ended production when? And it ended production in 2013. So that Cessna Skycatcher is a rare aircraft, according to this individual right here. It's 2011. It's got a glass. It's lightly used, like new, and it's for sale by Phil Mednick over there in Evolution Aircraft. He's trying to sell it for a friend. In fact, that's them coming in right now. The 2011 Cessna 162 Skycatcher, and it is a light sport aircraft. This wind coming right down the runway, I'll have to look and see what the speed is, but I believe it's going to be anywhere about 15 to 20 miles an hour gusting. We're pretty much right down the runway. And there's Phil, and there's Amelia waving everybody. Amelia, she's 8 years old. She runs around here like crazy. And hopefully she'll come out and get on the microphone and interview some of the younger folks out here in the crowd. Yes. 14 gusting, 23 from 290. So I was pretty close with my guess. And that's only 4 minutes old. It's gusting pretty good. The good news is it's pretty much down the runway. The other good news is that gust will allow those gusts will allow the pilots of the Husky Stoll National Demonstration to have some very, very good scores. A little bit of wind in their face will allow them to take off even sooner. Steve Henry took off in only 6 feet in February in Arizona, which is a new record for the Husky Stoll National Demonstrations and Competitions. This is the Autogyro Cavalon that you heard us talking about just a while ago. Autogyro Cavalon. They're an LP25, which is right over here. They've got 2 different ones of the Cavalon. They've got this cobalt or gray one, and then they've got a deep blue color, and then they've also got the 2 others, a Cletus and another. I don't have my piece of paper, so I forgot the other one right now. I lose it every now and then. If somebody remembers, they could just yell it out. But they have 3 different versions of the Autogyro in their exhibition booth right there in LP 2025. And I think by now we should have the lineup for the Husky Stoll National Demonstration. And I think we got somebody that just bought some corn. Come on out here and tell me something here real quick. Come on. We've got somebody that just bought some of this corn. Come on out here. Come on out. And I want you to see he's got butter and corn all over his beard. This is a testament. Come on out here. Don't wipe it off yet. Don't wipe it off yet. No, no, no. I want everybody to see the butter and the corn and the smile on this gentleman's face. How's the corn?
Terrible.
There you go, everybody. It's terrible, he says. But what's on your beard looks pretty good.
That's why it's terrible.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's only $3. They're right over there. They've got something to drink and things like that too. Obviously, it's good. It's all up. Here comes Amelia. Amelia, are you going to give us a flight report on how it was to fly in that Cessna Skycatcher with Phil Mednick? Hold on a second. We got to get you a microphone here. Hold on. All right, everybody. This is Amelia. You take the microphone.
Hello.
Talk loudly, right into
I
it.
wanted to say it was awesome.
There you go. It was awesome. What'd you like best about it?
When we went on the side and also the sinking feeling in my stomach.
Ooh. What'd that feel like?
Fun.
Fun. That was the good part? And what
Yeah.
could you see? Could you see all the airplanes all around?
Yeah.
Lots of them, wasn't it?
The one I remember was the yellow one and the giant ones over there.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Did you see any other ones flying around up there with you?
Yeah, that's what I mean by the yellow one.
Oh, there was a yellow one.
Like right over
Oh,
there.
the Kit Fox. That's the version 4 Kit Fox with a radial engine. Right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think. So, did Phil let you fly?
No.
No. How come?
I don't know.
Does your dad let you fly?
He did let me steer once when I was little.
There you, when you were little.
Yeah.
Aren't you still little?
I just sit on like something. I forgot what, but I just sit on things to see over the thing.
They're called phone books. Kids don't know what phone books are.
Guess not.
Us, we remember phone books. You don't know what is a phone book?
Where phone numbers are stored.
Very
I
good.
remember that from Tom and Jerry.
Oh, from a cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, back in the day, it's an old cartoon. There you go. Back in the day, they used to deliver us a book about this fat, and part of it was white and part of it was yellow. What were the yellow pages for and what were the white pages for? Do you know that? Was that on Tom and Jerry too? See, that's a good test.
White is the butter, yellow is the corn.
There you go. That's another test. Have you tried their corn, by the way?
I think so.
You think so?
I don't quite like corn though.
You don't like corn. How come you don't like corn?
I don't like a lot of things.
Well, no wonder why you're so skinny.
Hey, you should see my sister.
Is your sister skinny?
She's the shortest person I know.
Well, she's only, what, 4?
7.
Oh, excuse me. She's 7. She's just a little thing. Okay, it looks like the air cam is coming back, and it looks like the A32 Aeropract is coming. There's the air cam right there, just landed. And I see behind the second one over there is the magenta A32 Aeropract. Whoa! It's not pink. I'm not supposed to say pink, even though it is pink. Here's the Autogyro Cavalon. Have you flown in that one?
No, I'm hoping
No?
to fly it in a gyrocopter, but not yet.
Not yet, but soon. But soon you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we appreciate the flight report here, Amelia. You take care and do me a favor. And so we send Amelia on a hunt. She's going to go get the Stoll lineup, the Stoll Husky Stoll National Demonstration lineup. That Aeropract, look how slow they're coming in, folks. This is a good indication as to what kind of scores we're going to see. You see the Kit Fox being waved off because the Aeropract was still on the runway. The Red Hats waved off the Kit Fox to make sure the runway was totally clear before they landed. They're going to keep everybody safe here, and they watch the Red Hats. The Red Hats are the air operations individuals and pilots here. Make sure everybody is safe. Make sure everybody's safe. So let's talk about this Husky Stoll National Demonstration that's getting ready to start again. Yep, here comes Amelia. I don't see her with a piece of paper. Doesn't have it? Bummer. All right, we're saying that she still doesn't have it. They're trying to finalize that. Last I heard there was going to be 10 pilots flying in the Husky Stoll National Demonstration. So that's going to be pretty good. We'll find out who it is here in just a minute. In fact, I see some of them walking over. Maybe they'll have that here in just a minute for us. The Husky Stoll National Demonstration, this is a demonstration. It is not a competition. However, you will see the numbers out there so we can tell how good or how poorly these individuals do. When I say poorly, they're all fantastic pilots. These are far better pilots than I'll ever be, for sure. What they want to do is they line up with their wheels on the chalk line where that green cone is, and they take off in the shortest distance possible. When doing that, they're going to put the throttle all the way to the firewall and take off. And when they take off, they're going to mark how many feet it takes. That's the Autogyro Cavalon. So they're going to get a number. Let's just say the other day we saw one that was 23 feet. So we'll start with that. He took off 23 feet. He'll fly around the pattern. He'll come back around and land. And after he lands, they're going to look at the distance from the chalk line till the time he actually gets it all stopped. And they add those together. That's the score. If he lands before the chalk line, you'll see the umpires or the judges out there do this. They'll cross their arms like that, and that means a scratch. No points. So what you're going to find in the first few rounds is they're going to be as cautious as possible, as conservative as possible to make sure they get a score in the books. As soon as they get a score in the books, then they're going to start getting aggressive and try to take off and land just as fast as they can. You can also see them basically hang on the prop and just barely, you'll hear the stall warnings going off on the aircraft. You really will. Hear them stall warnings go off, and they'll plop it down right there at the line. Sometimes before the line, sometimes after the line. Always nice. Okay, guys, what is this aircraft? Kit. There you go. Kit Fox 4 with the radial engine. I'm glad I didn't have to say it again. Thank you very much. Ooh. It's a tough crowd. It's a tough crowd. Here, I think we're going to, in a microphone? Oh. He doesn't need a microphone. He's loud enough, he says. What does your wife say? Nothing. He just wave to her. Everybody can be seen on the web camera right there. If you're I should repeat that again. If you're in about the first 3 or 4 rows, you're visible all over the world right now on various YouTube channels and Facebook channels, and the audio is going out on ATC Live. So if you're with your loved ones, everything's good. If you're doing things you're not supposed to be doing, move to the back. Okay? Just want to make sure. What's your name, big guy?
Wyatt?
Wyatt?
Yeah.
Good. For a second, I thought you said what, and I was concerned.
South Carolina?
Where in South Carolina?
Hilton Head?
Hilton Head. Ooh, that's nice. And a Patriots. Sure, that's okay. He can be a Patriots fan. Do you like the Patriots?
Yeah.
There you go. That's fine. They're a good football team, aren't they?
Yeah.
Not my favorite, but they're your favorite, aren't they?
Yes.
Are you going to fly when you get older?
That's what I want to do.
There you go. What do you want to fly?
Gulfstreams?
Ooh, Gulfstreams. He shoots high, doesn't he? Keep going, kid. You're doing good. You're doing good. And I'm going to have to look. What about Dad over here? Well, all right, Dad. What's going on, Dad?
Oh, I'm not his dad. I'm.
Oh. I stand corrected. Oh, well, there you go. Congratulations, big guy. That's fun, too. You been in the plane with Dad? Nice. Very fun. I'm not going to say it because you guys know already what this is. All right? I'm not even going to say it. You guys will probably start throwing old bottles or corn husks at me if I say that again. But I will say that I love the sound of a radial engine. Can I say that? Is that okay? Okay. I love the sound of a radial engine. And I'll be quiet for that one. Let's see what time it is. If anybody has a clock. What time do you got, sir? 6:05. Any second here, I should be giving over. I need to get a radio. I'll be right back. I need to get a radio because we got to turn this over to the professional announcers at the Stoll demonstration here in just a. Whoa! This is a rough crowd. Did you hear him down here? Say it again louder.
About time.
About time. My name is Paul Czarnecki. I am the media guy here over at Paradise City. I'll try to answer your questions later, but I need to get a radio over to them so we know when to turn me off and turn them on. Thank you very much for letting me entertain you. You guys have fun, and we'll talk to you again soon, okay? Smiley, you down there?
I can't hear him on the radio right now. Hold this door, it's gonna slam on you.
Maybe this is the Masters.
Can you do me a favor? There's a radio down there. No, it's not. No problem. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, go down to the U-Haul trailer down there. They're going to tell me, they're going to say to cut live to us. 6:15. Okay, well, I want, instead of that, it's kind of nebulous. I want to know because otherwise I want to fill the time. Cool, thank you.
Here's Smiley.
John. Here in a minute, we're going to be plugging this into number 4. This blue one goes in right here, number 4. All right, when it's time.
What's a short takeoff when the wheels come off the ground? That's how you measure it?
Okay, apparently we've got a couple more minutes, and I've just been handed the lineup for the Husky Stoll National demonstration here. So it looks like we're going to have in the magenta Aeropract A22, sorry, the A22. Dennis Long is going to be flying in that one. We're also going to have June Humbert in, it doesn't have the aircraft, just has his tail number here. We also have Jaden Newman. Jaden Newman is the female from last year. I think she was like 20 or 21 years old. She's already a pilot, jet pilot, and she's got a real job, but she really gave the guys a run for their money. We also have Matt Peterson, Luke Spar, Warren Gobular. Now, Warren Gobular had the, I think it was a red and white biplane that was out here. Unbelievable. We'll see in a minute. Larry Mednick, he's going to be flying in the Revolt. We've got Steve Henry in the number 44 machine, and that's the Highlander, the Just Aircraft Highlander in the 622. We also have Gary Schmidt. He's going to be flying a yellow-black Just Aircraft, and that is probably going to be a Super Stoll as well. And then we've got Christian Grewan in Just Aircraft Super Stoll, and then Roger O'Neill in a Kit Fox 7. Hey, 7. That's more than 4, isn't it? Yeah. So that'd be Kit Fox. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 12 pilots you're going to be seeing in this Husky Stoll National demonstration right here at Paradise City, Sun and Fun 2022. And I believe by now it's got to be time for them to turn over. They've got some commercials and stuff they're going to play to get the sponsors, as you know. We may or may not hear their commercials, but just to know that AirTech Coatings is one that I know for sure. AirTech Coatings. And I believe it's almost time. So here we go, everybody. We're going to turn this over to the Husky Stoll National demonstration folks. Yes, I just read it out. I appreciate it. You guys take care, have fun, and soon you're going to be hearing the Husky Stoll National folks online giving you all the information you need.
Is the stadium, is the Broncos still in the same stadium? Yep. Mile High?
No, it's not. It's called,
Yeah, it's Mile High.
So,
But I mean, it's Mile.
this is their
But they moved to a site, they built a new stadium?
give them, make sure they're on. I'm going to give you this radio.
They went out of business though,
This is their input. This is the main out for everything going out. If you see that red light blinking, the clip light, turn this back slowly until it stops blinking. Okay?
ABI, he went to the Cardinals. What's the Broncos stadium name? Story? He's free agent. Yeah, you lost Story. He's a shortstop.
Either for sport or by pure necessity. They're bush pilots. We practice these skills so we can be safe off airport, so we can get into and out of the tight spots, the backcountry, and the unimproved fields. You'll now watch some of the best pilots in the world show you what they can do with as little as 50 feet. Not only can they take off and land off airport, they can take off and land anywhere. This is the Husky National Stoll Series. Husky National STOL Series is presented by Husky and Avion Aircraft, America's favorite tail dragger. McFarlane Aviation Products, thousands of parts, save thousands of dollars. American Legend Aircraft, not your grandfather's Cub. Duke Propellers, offering a wide variety of carbon-made propellers and rotors. Sarasota Avionics, the #1 aircraft avionics installer in the nation. Rugged Radios, the official communications provider of National STOL. Ladd Gardner Aviation Insurance, aviation protected. AirTech Coatings, we make paint fly. Sporty's Pilot Shop, learn to fly here. The Fat Tire Cowboys, an aviation adventure brand steeped in cowboy lore. And now, live from the south side of Sun 'n Fun Aerospace Expo's campus at the famous Paradise City Field in Lakeland, Florida, this is the 2022 Husky National STOL Demos.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2022 Sun 'n Fun National STOL, Husky National STOL. I always got to put that word in there, Husky National STOL. Yeah, we're back. It is Friday night. The crowd is larger than ever, and I'm excited. I got my friend Ryan here.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting STOL demo. Had some kind of crummy weather yesterday, so we're all excited to get STOL freaked out, to see some short landings, some short takeoff in just a few minutes. Really excited, but first, we got a very important guest here in the booth with us.
He's more important every day.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but thank you.
Guys, this is my friend Gene Conrad. Gene has been the venerable airport manager here at Lakeland, airport director for 11 years?
12 years, actually.
12 years.
12 years. Got here in January 2010.
And then they fired you, and you decided you want to do something a lot easier.
Well, I actually resigned to come over here and be the new president and CEO of ACE and Sun 'n Fun Aerospace Expo.
So when I heard this news, I was overjoyed because you've been one of my favorite people in this industry for a really long time because your experience is absolutely next level. I mean, you have taken Lakeland from being a paltry small airport that is, I can't say it was paltry or small compared to Lake Wales or Winter Haven, but it was an airport that was really underdeveloped, and you've really grown that and grown the vision of what Lakeland could do with this airport.
No, and I appreciate that, but I will say no good deed goes unpunished because I know there's a lot of worries out there reference Amazon and the future development of the airport, but I will say it till my dying breath. It is about aviation at the end of the day. The airport has to grow, right? And they're here the 51 other weeks of the year, and we're all here for 6 days enjoying our time here. But at the end of the day, we did great things at the airport. But I came over here to Sun 'n Fun. And the Aerospace Expo because I was born in Oshkosh. My dad ran the airport there when I was a kid. I grew up around Paul Poberezny, Steve Whitman, Tom Poberezny, all of those folks. Been volunteering up at AirVenture for 34 years.
Just a short period of time.
Short period of time. Run handle all the air show performers there. But the reason I came here to Lakeland to run the airport back in January 2010 is because Sun 'n Fun is here. Right. And so we had to do some stuff at the airport, and people ask, well, why would you come over to Sun 'n Fun? Why wouldn't I? Understanding my background, it makes sense.
It's who you are. And when you and I first started spending time together, it was on an advisory board for the director of the board, right?
Yes.
And when I saw in those meetings, it was your passion, not just for ACE, but for Sun 'n Fun's attendees and for growing the overall vision of Sun 'n Fun. So we have a few minutes here, but do you want to share kind of a highlight reel of what you see Sun 'n Fun becoming over the next few years?
Well, I mean, it ain't broke, so, right? I mean, this is a phenomenal event, and, but it's going to be about tweaking it and massaging things, in a certain manner, and, there are things going to happen for the airport, and it's going to develop over time, and we really need to get ready and do a master site plan for the event. I know there's a lot of people, like, next year, I've heard rumors of the exhibit buildings will be gone, or this is going to be gone. They will all be there. The airport, when and if it happens, the parallel runway is about 8 to 10 years out, right? But the site is going to shift.
Right.
And we're going to spend the next couple of years to plan for our event and what we do here on a year-round basis and be ready to go if and when that happens, right?
Well,
and it's no different than what AirVenture has done over the last several decades. as they have, moved and built new warehouses or, the exhibit buildings that they have and all of that. And, that all took decades, and it's going to take us a long time to do that here as well. But our goal is by the 50th anniversary, the 50th fly-in here in 2024 is to have that plan ready to show people and for people to comment on it, because we're not perfect and we have to figure it out. But, we want to make sure this is right and we set it up the right way for the next 50 years.
Well, one of the things I enjoy the most about you as airport director here is that you are an unbelievable yes man. Normally when you go to an airport director and you say, hey, I'd like to do this, blah, 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 they say, well, no. And it's their natural reaction is to say no. And something you taught me and that I've tried to encourage other airport directors and airport advisory boards and whatnot is say why not. And you've always said why not to every idea I've ever brought you, including the craziest ones.
And you've brought us some crazy stuff, by the way.
I believe that.
Drift cars, drift motorcycles, airplanes, skydiving, and a few other things all in one. And it was not even a hesitation. He said, yes, we'll find a way to make it work because it promotes aviation. And I think that being your heart is so clear. And I'm so excited to see how the future of Sun and Fun. Obviously, Lights has done an incredible job growing this event.
Yep.
But taking your vision and your way of building a business around it, I think is going to be really, really cool.
And when we look at what we're doing here this week, this is the annual fundraiser for what is now ACE, the Aerospace Center for Excellence, and what we do on a year-round basis to get youth involved in aviation education and get them involved in our industry. Because we have a pilot shortage, we need pilots, we need mechanics, we need air traffic controllers, and we're doing our part, but also we're gonna raise the level of our efforts and what we're doing and really push the envelope, and we're gonna bring in some really great folks, which I look forward to announcing in June of this year to run ACE for us, and it's gonna be great. But back to the airport real quick, when I got here back in 2010, we had 800 people working on the airport. There's now over 3,000 working here. Right,
and growing.
And the economic impact then was 167 million. It's now over 1 billion. But here's the thing: is airports like ours, had we not done what we had done, there are communities looking to close airports.
Yeah.
If we were being subsidized by the city government, people are like, well, I don't fly in and out of there. I don't have my airplane there. It's only for rich people, right?
Right.
And so we had to change that dynamic here, and having NOAA here, and yes, Amazon, it does create a little pain for us, but we're very helpful in the fact that the airport had the revenue during 2020 when we couldn't unfortunately have this great event. The airport was able to waive all of the fees and all the ground lease that the airport charges Sun and Fun, and waive all of that because the revenues were there.
Right, and that's the beautiful thing is it becomes a relationship between each other, not just a leech. And I think that's what's so powerful about the way you've run the airport now, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that kind of shifts into Sun and Fun.
On Wednesday, I will say the pilot in command on one of those 737-800s that took off for Amazon was a graduate from the CFAA in 2013.
Nice.
That's
amazing.
what it's all about.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
It's paying it forward to the next generation of aviators.
Absolutely.
And I think that we've seen that over and over again, even with competitors here tonight. We have Nick, who's
Nick,
just
absolutely.
come out
and
of
he's running for state office. Everybody, just
How
putting
cool
it
is
out
that?
there.
I feel like his entire platform will be something about how tail wheels are better.
Yeah. Yeah.
The United Tailwheel Party of the United States.
I would vote for that party.
Absolutely.
Well, other than that, is there anything you can share that's upcoming, or the ways that people can help to see the vision of Sun and Fun continue to push people forward, push young people forward, and make aviation a better place?
I think it's really just doing what everybody's doing and promote it as much as possible. And and there's things here with our event and what we do, and I'm just going to throw this out there. gconrad@flysunandfun.org, and send me an email. I want to hear it, the good, the bad, the ugly. We want to make this event as great as we can. And, but again, for what we do here, all those monies we're raising are going right back in all of our educational programs, and we're creating pilots and mechanics and doing what we need to be doing, but we also need to raise our level nationwide big time.
I can
and
only
we need
imagine
help doing that.
If you could imagine 10 times the amount of impact you have today, 10 years from now,
Yep.
the number of students that be coming out of that CFAA and through the Aero Club would just be absolutely incredible.
And when you look at what we have and the mass of what we have as far as our educational facilities here with ACE, we need to duplicate what's here on 5 airports in every state of this great country, and maybe we'll start making a dent, but that's what it's going to take, and we've got to get the partners on board, and there's money out there.
Oh, yeah.
We got to sell it and get them on board and move forward.
Well, I think anyone that's standing here in this crowd right now and gets the opportunity to watch these young men and women that have gone through these programs out here competing or demonstrating.
Absolutely.
And speaking of which, what do you think is Stoll?
I think Stoll is awesome. I mean, obviously, we were sitting here, back in December,
right?
Having a similar type conversation about that. And how cool is it if you think about it? A busy airport, busy GA airport, to have a grass strip here, and year round the kids are using it here. But then we get to have these cool events as well. I mean, that's cool. It's like our own little world down here.
It really is, and it is an exciting world, as you can see tonight. With the crowds are stacking up, people are getting excited for some Stoll activity. I'm curious, would you like me just to step out and you can kind of finish the commentating for the night?
If that's what you want, I can do that. Hey, what's it pay? I need a donation.
Let's put it this way: it doesn't pay well. But we're excited to be here. Gene, thanks so much for coming out and for taking the time. I know you're crazy busy with this being soon to be your last Sun and Fun as a strict volunteer.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. And, I just want to say thank you for everybody being here. You being here in attendance today and throughout the week is very, very important what we do on a year-round basis. I just want to thank everybody making the efforts to get here to Lakeland, Florida.
That's our pleasure, Gene. Have a great night. Enjoy
Awesome.
the retirement parties and tell the lights we said good job.
I will do that. Thank you.
Right,
thank you very much. Great to see you.
Everybody. Have fun. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the way. I will get a report here from our tower shortly about how quickly we are going to be getting started. But that was Gene Conrad with us. Gene being the airport director here at Sun and Fun at Lakeland Linder Airport, and soon to be, I guess Monday, the new president of Sun and Fun.
Pretty incredible story there, and I think what was interesting to me is having talked to him a year ago was that what you guys just talked about a little bit about the idea of having an airport maybe that would be at odds with the local events, right? And what we're seeing and what we've seen with him a year ago, we see again now, is this partnership, this true partnership that's bringing everyone together to help grow aviation, and that's just really exciting to see as a product of that. As you and I are both products of that.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm a big product of Sun and Fun itself. I mean, this is my 28th Sun and Fun, so I've been here a long time, and watching how the event has changed throughout the years, and then seeing someone like Gene come out and say, hey, I want to give up my cushy job that I have I'm sure he has a pension ready. He's only been there 12 years. He's giving that up, at least to some degree, because he has so much passion for what is happening here on these grounds. I cannot wait to see the changes. I cannot wait to see how he listens to the crowd. I mean, he's giving out his personal email address to the whole world right here.
And I believe he means it.
Oh, I 100%.
Like, I think you should email him. If you have thoughts or ideas, I think you should do it.
Just a few weeks ago, I'm on a flight to Ohio, and I get a text from Gene. He goes, I'm on your plane. I said, you're on my plane? He said, yeah, I'm on your plane. And I said, how do you see me? You must be in first class. He said, oh, no, I'm a city worker. So we linked up in Charlotte, and it's neat to see that aviation keeps bringing cool people together. At least he's the cool one. So
he's super cool. I love that you're saying I'm on your plane. Like, is that a threat? Is that a threat? Let's see on social here. Josh Sinclair says where do I register to join the Tailwheel Party?
I think you should just go to your nearest voter registration location and just try.
Just write it in.
Right.
Write it in, Josh. Just write it in. These are, for folks in the crowd here at Sun and Fun, these are folks interacting with us through social media. You can check that out if you want to watch at home or in the crowd. You can check out the stream we've got going on YouTube and Facebook, things like that.
And keep in mind, you can find out all of our information for socials, for everything else, and keep up with live scoring at nationalstoll.com. So if you want to keep up with the scores live and not wait for us to read them, which we might read them wrong, it's happened before, nationalstoll.com.
That live scoring thing, I think we tried for the first time at Outlaw Stoll just a few weeks back. Such a cool way to interact with technology. And as I see on the screen here, Eric, whoa.
There's a lot of people here.
A lot of crowds filling up. If you're in the crowd right now getting ready for a National Stoll demo, we want to hear it. Give it a hoot and a holler. Something for us.
Like you mean it. Like you mean it. Come on now. Come on now. All right, we got some people here. All right, this is excellent, guys. I'm excited. I know a lot of you guys are excited to see our friend Steve Henry back up on his gear with a brand new propeller, working through the night with the help of Cincinnati Propellers and with the help of Lincoln Welders, as well as all the fine folks in the workshops here at Sun and Fun. He got that airplane up and ready to roll the very next day. I'm going to go ahead and get things going with the weather now. It is currently wind 290 at 12, gusting to 21 knots. Now that second number there is going to be super important, guys. The difference between a 100-foot takeoff and a 70-foot takeoff, a 25-foot takeoff and an 8-foot takeoff is going to be if you're taking off in the steady or the gust. I know that a lot of these pilots are going to be dying for that 21-knot gust, and I think that they're going to have an opportunity for it tonight.
Well, and the big thing you'll see, if you are a careful audience member, a careful viewer, you'll see them taxi to the line and try to wait for the right wind to blow through all these flags, of these wonderful flags that they're all very happy to. Obviously, they show the people that support that Husky National Stoll Series, but also a great tool for all the pilots to use to try to time that takeoff. A little bit less they can do on the landing.
Well, there's something else you'll see that you'll be surprised by. Some of these airplanes have different tools mounted to them. If you look at a couple of these airplanes, look for a stray string, because they'll be waiting for that string to get pegged out, and they're thinking ahead because they know that if they see that string start to swing, they need to get into the power and start that process forward. But why don't you walk us through our first few competitors?
Yeah, we've got a really exciting lineup today. Really great thing that's happening right now is that the weather cleared, the rain from yesterday cleared, and we have finally some real heavy competitors that were able to make it through that tough weather to join us. Let's start at the top. Gary Schmidt, 2017 Just Super Stoll. You're going to learn a little bit about him. He's actually the owner of Just Aircraft. Really excited to see.
He is, and he's actually running one of the smaller motors. He's running a 914 in that. We have a 915 Super Stoll in the competition, or the demo as well.
Sure.
So it'll be interesting to see the difference between their performances.
Matt Peterson in the 1957 Cessna 172 from Louisiana. Also, the chairman and CEO of Swamp Stoll. Great to see him here. I was hanging out with him a little bit today. He said that with the wins today, he might be able to get his personal best.
He did indeed.
Personal best.
And he said he was getting serious about it. He took the passenger seat out.
Oh, he is getting serious about it then. Get the passenger seat out.
All right, we got about 2 minutes before we get things kicked off, and I have to say I'm so excited because that beautiful Super Patriot is being flown by another awesome human being tonight.
Absolutely. Kind of a surprise addition today. Jaden Newman is back. If you were here last year, you saw her tearing it up in that yellow Carbon Cub. Now switched over to the Patriot aircraft, the brand new 2021. You've been talking about it all week. I like that it's invisible.
If we had snow, it'd be invisible. But this is a brand new aircraft just announced this week here at Sun and Fun's, the Super Patriot. And Jaden's a 19-year-old female pilot who is absolutely slaying her experiences here. And all of the demos that I've seen her do, she has placed very well.
So giving even the best the run for their money. After her will be Nick Poucher. We talked about him a little bit with Gene, also in a Patriot, a different model Patriot. Warren Grobelar is here.
Crowd favorite
in the 180, the polished 180. And then Luke Spohr in the Moac, the Legend
Moac.
Cub Moac.
The mother of all Cubs.
I just like it because it sounds evil.
It does.
Here's that other Super Stoll you were talking about, Eric. Christian Griwan in another Just Aircraft Super Stoll.
He is indeed. And, of course, crowd favorites, John Humbert in his Super 701 with that UL Power 130, followed by his competitor, Steve Henry.
Steve Henry, kind of the big comeback story this week. Obviously, it's just a demo, but you were here. I watched from afar at home and saw that he had a little bit of a challenging night on Tuesday. Put a lot of effort in over the last 2 days, and guess who's back?
Guess who's back? That's the beauty of all things experimental aviation. We absolutely love it. We've got three more to talk about, and these are kind of exciting because they're different.
Absolutely, yeah. You got the Aeropract Vixen, Dennis Long, a last-minute addition to the demo tonight. I just think the Aeropract's a cool-looking thing. We'll learn more about that a little bit later.
It is. My understanding it's Ukrainian-built. It's an all-metal light sport. And then following him, we have Larry Mednick, who's a good friend of mine, flying the 2018 Evo Revolt. So this is a Evolution weight shift trike. It's going to be really cool to see his performance. And that's it for the night, I believe. We have Roger O'Neill on the screen, but he's not going to be able to make it tonight. So we have the pilots released, and our very first pilot, Gary Schmidt, is on the line enjoying that heavy breeze. You can see his beard's in there moving around. He's getting ready to smash the power and see how things go.
What I love about this is on the sheet here for us, this Gary G-Dog Schmidt.
G-Dog. Gotta love Gary. And Gary is excited and ready. You know that the man has got a lot of experience both with backcountry flying, even just flying into their factory in Walhalla, South Carolina is like a roller coaster ride into one of the shortest strips you can slide into. And those Super Stolls were specifically designed to do just that. I remember the first year they released those here, people's jaws dropped. Their climb performance was unlike anything we'd seen before here at Paradise City. And I think that people are still picking their jaws up because it hasn't changed. They continue to produce very dependable, high performance excitement.
Yeah, you're going to see some huge verticals there. I'm wondering, as we get ready to do this with Gary Schmidt, if we should walk through the rules of National Stoll. So National Stoll, obviously a demo right now here at Sun and Fun 22. But we've been traveling. I've been traveling all over the country with this series, this national series sponsored by Husky Aircraft and a number of other amazing supporters.
And there's a new one almost every month. So if anywhere you are in the U.S., there's probably a National Stoll Series either already planned or being planned now so that you can take a quick flight in your own airplane and come and join us. All right, so let's go through the rules.
We'll let Gary take off here, and then I'll hit you up with the rules. Here we go. Full throttle for Gary. Tail off the ground.
Getting those flaps in. And you can see he rotated so late. He carried so much energy into that initial climb. He could have probably been off the ground 50 feet earlier.
Right, just working those slats to keep the airflow over the wing. Here's Colonel Matt Peterson on the line. Okay, so here's a real quick breakdown of how this works, everybody. You'll see the aircraft taxi to the line. They've got their main wheels on the line. Here's Matt giving it the beans.
That 0300 struggling hard. 1957 straight tail 172. You'll notice hit it rotate and off the ground. Matt is an expert at discussing the ideas of how much energy you should have left in the airplane as you roll off the ground. He wants to be pulling the airplane off the ground and having to nose over immediately but keep the mains off. So he'll be constantly working because he has a little bit of a disadvantage over these tailwheel pilots on the leverage. The Super Patriot.
Here's Jaden. Whoa! That's a round of applause, everybody. There you go. Jaden is not one to be messed with.
74-foot takeoff for Jaden in the Super Patriot. You've got to love it.
Got on the replay here, and it's just like poetry in motion for Jaden. She's not only a bush pilot, she's also a professional pilot, flying jets all over the place. Here's Nick Poucher. He's trying to get your vote with this takeoff.
Oh, and leaving the ground around 95 feet, it looks like. Very exceptional. That's one of the best performances we've seen from Nick as yet. Oh, and we did get Roger O'Neill in. And fantastic. Roger's actually a local from Lake Wales, Florida. His airplane's based in Bartow, and this is a 912S-powered Kit Fox Model 7 with the STI wing. This is his first time at a National Stoll event.
And that's weird because you were talking about a plane. I didn't see it at all. It's totally invisible.
The crowd's going nuts, guys.
Crowd's going nuts for Warren Grobelar in number 46, the 180 from the heavy touring class.
Warren slamming the tail down, getting it off the ground in light experimental territory there.
Warren is not messing around. He is, I think what's impressive about that is just the weight of that aircraft. Everyone knows the Cessna 180 is like kind of the quintessential bush plane, but the way he can make that thing move is really impressive. Want to talk about the rules real quick?
You got about 10 seconds before Gary comes in.
Here are the main things you need to know. We measure from the main wheels, either the front or the front on a tail dragger, the back in a nose gear. I've failed my mission.
It's all right.
You've got to land after the line, not before it. So that was a good landing, heavy on the brakes, and what we're doing is we're measuring the stopping distance, adding that stopping distance to where the aircraft took off earlier to get the combined score. So you see the judges along the back end running to score that takeoff and then similarly that landing.
Now what's important to note here is they have to make it past the line because they could have the shortest landing of the day, but if they touch down those main landing gear before the line, it doesn't count at all. The whole run is scratched.
Absolutely. You're going to want to land like you're landing on a carrier, like you're in a F-19 stealth fighter.
Oh, there's a
and
scratch.
There's a scratch just as you predetermined that. And boos from the crowd.
Boos from the crowd, indeed.
We
got some serious feedback here. And Matt Peterson was on a mission. He said that he had the longest scratch in National Stoll history. He was on a mission not to do that again today, and he was really happy to see the wing coming down the runway for once, which is a rarity here at Paradise City. So I'm disappointed for him. I know he'll be disappointed, but we'll have another opportunity to go back around again. We do have our first score, Gary Schmidt at 273, and Jaden Newman on approach.
Jaden Newman off to your left, folks in the crowd on short final. Really impressive to see her career take off, no pun intended. Really excited to see what she can do. That first takeoff for her, 73 feet. Here she is, low and on your left. Looks like we're going to have a go-around for Nick Poucher.
But keep an eye on Jaden here. She's keeping it under power, just kind of wrapping that power in as she needs to. Heavy under brake and pulling back full aft elevator. Now trying to keep the tail on the ground or the nose off of it.
Locked off, those wheels locked up. And just an explanation of what happens with Nick there. Spacing got a little tight. Air bosses hop on the frequency and say, Nick, you got to go around, do another loop around the pattern to make sure everything's safe and we're all properly separated.
I think Nick was just in the midst of trying to prove that he had the faster Patriot.
Yeah, well, he was catching up to her for sure.
Warren Grobelaar coming back in. Warren, Roger O'Neill. Apologies, wrong screen on there for me. But Roger O'Neill, young man, 23 years old, I believe. He's a geologist. To cross the line, letting it float. Again, this is his first event. This is the first time he's attempted anything like this. When I spoke to him on Tuesday, he said, well, I don't have any interest. I've never done anything like this.
Sure.
He just built this airplane himself, painted it himself, and he's excited to now showcase not just what he can do, but to work on what he can become. And that's one of the most important things about National STOL, is an opportunity to really become the best pilot you can be, to start dialing in the consistency. And let's talk a little bit about that consistency, about the most consistent that we're looking for here.
Well, now, so it's interesting. I was going to talk about Matt Peterson with his most improved last season.
Warren's on short approach, and the crowd is going wild. Don't you do it.
Hold it off. Oh, scratch
man.
for Warren. I'd like to note, though, that Warren's fans aren't booing that scratch.
They're not booing the scratch, but
That's
I think
weird.
they'll be booing him in person later. Just have that expectation.
It's not totally fair, guys. You gotta boo him too if you're gonna boo everybody. All right, Nick Poucher, I believe, off on final approach there. Kind of battling the winds. You were talking about most consistent.
So most consistent is an award that we give at every National STOL event for the pilot that keeps their flights the most consistent lengths. So if you, for instance, we had Austin Clemens in December. Austin's all of his flights, out of all the flights he did, they were 6 feet separating them all. Right? He was so consistent on takeoffs and landings. Nick now coming in under power, getting that high alpha look. He wants to get the tail a little bit lower, slowing it down, and just pump the power as he needs it.
So he's good. He's good. Now he's got to get it stopped.
I think that Nick really wants some bigger tires.
I think Nick wants some bigger tires. The other thing you'll notice is his aircraft doesn't have any flaps.
He does not. It's a PA-18.
So he's got to do some slips for energy management and descent management as opposed to flaps like the other aircraft. You'll notice that I think you'll notice he typically will do a lower approach.
He does.
Because he can't control that descent rate with flaps the way the other competitors can.
Exactly. He's trying to keep the airplane flying right to the ragged edge and then shop the power once he's clear of the line.
As the aircraft taxi back past the line, everybody make sure to cheer, hoot, holler, give them a wave. They can hear you past all that engine noise. Be great to see all of them. I want to chat a little bit as they taxi by about some of our sponsors. One is Husky Aircraft, obviously our headline sponsor. Husky is where luxury aircraft and backcountry meet. You'll find Aviat Husky. Meet America's favorite tail dragger at booth, Mike Delta 31 Bravo.
You said that like you're a pilot or something.
Mike Delta 31 Bravo, that's MD31B. Also, on the social there, Frederico says, I would love to see a bush cat there.
Man, we wish we'd have a bush cat here as well. We had one signed up for the event on Tuesday, and it didn't happen, but we do have a great guy in here right now talking to us from way up in Canada, and that's our friend Chinook Valdez Special, Dan, who is an incredible legend of the short takeoff and landing world, current world record holder. And we got to see him fly at Swamp Stoll, and I got to say, just an absolute gentleman and a phenomenal pilot.
So I was so heartbroken that I didn't get to make Swamp Stoll to see him fly. I'd seen him on the internet, and just
Absolutely.
amazing things that he can do with that aircraft.
Warren's driving by right now, and you can see the crowd going nuts.
He's not. Is he smiling at least, Warren?
He's grinning. He knows his friends are here. Warren and I flew up to Swamp Stoll together, actually. We flew formation up there, and him flying so slow with those giant tires almost knocked me out of the sky because I got so much carb ice I couldn't clear it. But aside from that, we had a great time, and he was telling me on the radio about all his friends at Sun and Fun, and he says he only pays them like $10 a piece to show up.
Oh, that makes about, yeah. Well, you guys should ask for a raise. As our friend Gary takes off right now, I want to give you a little rundown of the scores from the last round at this demo. Jaden Newman in first place with a combined score. That's the landing and the takeoff combined, 238 feet. Gary Schmidt, who you just saw take off right now, 273 feet. Nick Poucher in the flapless PA18.
308.
308.
Pretty exceptional, honestly. That's the best record we've seen from him this week. And, of course, we do have the wind helping him out. I think that we're going to see a very happy Matt with that takeoff.
Yeah, I think we are, too. And Roger O'Neill in the Kit Fox combined score of 521. I want to put that in perspective, by the way. If you're a pilot or an aspiring pilot, these combined scores, I don't even know if I could. Another great one for Jaden.
Absolutely phenomenal for Jaden. That Super Patriot is really delivering for her exactly the kind of performance she's been after.
I was just going to say, I don't know if the last time I just either took off or landed my 172 under these numbers, let alone these numbers combined.
My RV6 could take all those numbers put together, and that'd be my takeoff.
There you go. Well, maybe we're just not good pilots.
That's also very possible. Nick back on the roll.
Nick!
Easing it off just like absolutely flawless. What we've seen from Nick tonight is a lot more consistency than we've seen the rest of the week, which I'm very happy to see. And I know that Roger's very excited because this being his first time playing like this is all new for him. He built this airplane, just got it flying recently, and now he's at Southern Fun flying in Husky National STOL. He's not pushing it. He's not ripping the airplane off the ground. He's allowing it to perform exactly where it should be.
So one of the interesting things you'll see if you come to a National STOL event where we're truly competing as opposed to the demo here at Sun and Fun.
Let's look at this now. Warren diving the airplane toward the ground. Flaps go in, and he slams the tail once again, using that lever arm as well as he can to get the weight of the engine off the ground.
Almost trimming the grass there for Warren. What I was going to say is what you'll see is all these aircraft right now, you might be watching in the audience. We say, well, this isn't really that fair because Warren is in a very heavy, powerful airplane compared to Nick, who's in a very light, lower horsepower airplane. And when you come to a standard event, you'll see everyone organized into classes based on gross weight and horsepower.
Right.
And that equalizes them and makes it a little more standard.
Plus, it makes it really fun to have these micro battles between different people in the same class. Ooh, Gary, just a slight bit short. Really excellent. Very heavy on the braking, though. That's his shortest landing I've seen yet this week by far.
Add a couple feet to it for the scratch, and it's still not a pretty respectable performance there.
I feel like if this was a charity skeet shoot, you could buy a couple extra shots to make it through your stages. You probably would have gone ahead and bought a couple extra feet. Matt coming in, he's not going to scratch it this time. He wants the score. You know he's going to do his very best to keep it up, but he's got those barn door flaps down, working it across the line. He's going to keep it safe.
He got it.
He wants those numbers in the book. Once he has a score.
Oh, he's on the brakes hard. He wants it. I think he said his best score ever was in the 400 range.
462, I believe, is the number he brought up. So I know that he is going to have a much happier time with a better score than that.
The other thing that Matt mentioned to me today, which is really interesting, in that aircraft, he's flown 195 different people, 30 of them young Eagles.
He loves taking people for their first ride. He really does. And it's something that's fun to watch. At Swamp Stoll, he was just ripping around in the craziest winds, just giving rides as much as he could.
I think if you're in the crowd right now, you should go find him afterwards and say, hey, Colonel Matt.
Would you please put your passenger seat back in?
Yeah, put your passenger seat back in so I can get a lift.
I got to point this out, too, because I actually got a text. I just got a text that John Humbert wants it known that his airplane still has the passenger seat in it and is set up for flying across country. But Jaden Newman's on low approach now in that Super Patriot.
By the way, Matt's score may be his best.
421. That is his best. Keep it off, Jaden. Keep it off.
Oh,
it's
could
good.
Not be closer to the line than that for Jaden Newman.
Man, that was fantastic performance from Jaden. We've already seen a very good score from her, seeing that much better. 238 the first time. We'll see what that landing was. Her last takeoff, let's see here. Her last takeoff was almost 20 feet longer, 19 feet longer than the previous, but that landing was 23 feet shorter.
I would really be interested to see, and I'm going to pull it up right now with the weather, what the winds are doing. By the way, look at someone's fighting the wind right now.
That's Nick.
Right on the edge there, Nick.
Keep it off, Nick.
Oh, he's
Tail
off.
wheel's on the ground.
Okay.
Tail wheel was on the ground for a long time there, but sadly that was a scratch.
People ask this every time we compete. What happens if the tail wheel touches before the line? And it's all good. We are only considering the main gear.
Absolutely. And that said, he's fighting and he's working it hard. Okay, Roger coming in now. He's on the ground earlier. getting this braking in heavily. You can see that elevator all the way up. Get it down. Under 200 it looks like from here. For a first time coming out and doing something that's new that he didn't even know existed before this, how cool is it to see someone like Roger coming out and doing something new?
I think what's great about National Stoll, one of the things that inspires me about National Stoll is that it is so accessible. These are all skills that as you train to become a pilot, and I hope everyone in the crowd right now, if you're not a pilot and you want to do it, that you pursue that. Aviation is for everybody. These are all the skills you're going to learn just turned up to 11.
Absolutely. Warren Grobelaar on short approach, now short final and low approach. He's getting the power and tails on the ground, and he comes across. Get that thing down. Stop it, buddy. Stop it.
Nice performance.
Very nice performance from a massive airplane with a big honking heavy motor. At least he has no extra weight from paint. I think that's what's helping him,
Probably that. And you noticed a little bit. He gave up a few feet because he had to give a little goose of throttle to get it over the line.
But he's doing that because now he has a score. Up until this point, if he finished out the night with no score, do you think that all those people cheering his name would even talk to him?
I don't think anyone's going to talk to him if he keeps scratching.
Well, luckily, Warren does have a score on the board now, which is fantastic to see. We're starting to see really impressive changes from people like Roger O'Neill. Roger and his Kit Fox 7 had a combined score of 521 in our last round. Now he has a combined score of 380. That's from his first time ever doing a Stoll competition or demo to his second time. That's a pretty radical improvement, and that's exactly the kind of improvement you want to see.
Want to talk a little bit about another one of our sponsors, Eric. Another McFarland Aviation and MT Propeller. You can visit our gold sponsor, McFarland Aviation Products, here at the show at Sun and Fun 22, Hangar A. They're in booths 63 and 64. You can speak with their MT Propeller specialists. You can visit them at Hangar B, booth 88. That's McFarland Aviation Products. They're celebrating 50 years serving the aviation community.
And you'll see a lot of the pilots out here running that McFarland prop, including Warren Grobelaar, who loves it, and he loves the way it makes the crowd go nuts when it's just so dadgum loud. We love it too. Roger O'Neill taxiing by the tower now. That beautiful Series 7 that he painted with the help of his sister.
Look at the scores that are coming in right now. Warren Grobelaar in the giant Cessna 180. Warren G in the 180.
First place, ladies and gentlemen. First place.
2 feet shorter than Jaden.
In her Super Cub, her Super Patriot. It's very interesting to see this because Warren is not usually competing in the Bush class.
No, normally they are not pinned up against each other at all.
No,
so
this is
kind
an
of a
exceptional performance from Warren. And we know that Jaden, this is our first time flying the airplane, so she's going to get more and more out of it the more time she goes around this pattern. Gary Schmidt with a very nice performance on that third takeoff, 98 feet. And Matthew Peterson, the Colonel, on the roll. Watch for the flaps to come in, the rotation to happen all at once. He sometimes likes to drag his tail. Exceptional.
I'm just waiting to see what the latest wind observation is. They do feel lighter to me, but also we have a huge crowd here at Sun and Fun.
They're
and maybe
blocking us.
They're just blocking the wind for us. I don't know.
Jaden getting the nose down a little lower, going a little more aggressively, bringing the flaps in and coming off with a lot of energy. I think she could have been off at least 10 to 15 feet earlier, but she, again, is still learning this airplane. Coming from a different Cub, every airplane has a personality. I don't care what you say. You could take a Cessna 172, and it's a certified airplane. You could take one off the line from one day, you take one off the line from another day. They're not the same airplane.
The wing rigging, the control rigging, all of that combining together.
And something important to note, Nick with a very nice takeoff here. Something important to note on that Super Patriot is it is an IFR airplane with autopilot.
What?
It's covered in AirTech coatings, so that beautiful finish.
Another sponsor of our friend AirTech Coatings helping us out.
Fantastic people there at AirTech, fantastic people there at Patriot as well. We know that Jaden's going to be looking forward to signing autographs at the Patriot booth after this round.
Yeah, so if you're in the crowd or you want to meet Jaden, the Wunderkind, you could go check her out at the booth. Here's Warren on the line. The crowd's getting rowdy.
Diving the airplane toward the ground. You'll notice he rotates quickly, gets the flaps in, and gets off the ground in just under 95 feet. Warren working the winds, waiting for things until they're just right, and that is extremely aggressive, just as we've learned to expect from our South African friend.
Would you like some random random Warren Grobelar facts.
Oh, man. Did he ever have malaria? I feel like he might have had malaria.
He survived malaria at 13.
At
Thanks
13?
for stealing my thunder. But did you know that he narrowly escaped being mauled by an ostrich at age 7?
How do you get mauled by an ostrich? I mean, I've been attacked by a goose, but an ostrich is a new one. All right, we've got Gary bringing it in, getting it nice and tight. Look at this.
Oh, good one for
impressive
Gary.
Performance.
Little bit of break fade on that right main, but in that case, what we do is we measure from the furthest main from the line.
Indeed, which look like about 73 feet. Again, we're seeing some of the best performance out of Gary that we've seen all week. I know he'll be very pleased with this result. Matt Peterson now making his way. He's taking this one a little bit differently. He's allowing it to slow down. You'll see he's fighting a little bit of that crosswind. No big deal. He's going to keep it under power as long as he can. Keep it off the mains.
With a scratch there. Maybe the gentlest
it's
landing
beautiful.
of the night. Beautiful landing.
I would pay money for my landings to look like that when I have a passenger, because they never do. I'm fine on my own, but I can't take a passenger and make it smooth.
By the way, reading these wonderful information sheets here, Matt claims to be the most improved ukulele player on the circuit as well.
You know, it's funny.
I don't know what that's.
Matt has done a lot of things in his life. And,
ukulele, yeah.
I tell you what, he throws one heck of a Bayou Bash. If anyone ever gets the opportunity to make their way to Louisiana for Swamp Stoll, I can guarantee you it will be a fantastic time. This looks like Jaden Newman now in that Super Patriot, covered by AirTech Coatings.
And check out the new scores.
Ooh, we have a new leader, ladies and gentlemen.
Gary Schmidt with 169 combined, 169 feet combined for Gary Schmidt in that Just Aircraft Super Stoll. Really working that plane kind of the way it was designed to be used.
He really is. It's interesting to see the difference in today's performance versus the last few days. I feel like he's really turned it up to 11. He's got the win, but Jaden's got the gust that she needs to take this out. She's going to get it stopped a lot earlier. Look at this. Sub 150, sub 125. Jaden Newman in the Super Patriot.
Probably one of the closest landings to the line that wasn't a scratch yet, just there by Jaden Newman. Did not give up almost any braking distance based on where she touched down. That was excellent.
Exactly what you want to do. You want to have all the energy out of the airplane, put yourself in a position where you can actually use the brakes and keep the nose out of the ground.
Just watching the replay here, just skimming the blades of grass there.
Nick Hauscher.
Hot on her tail, giving up a little bit more, touching down about 50 feet from the line.
But this is one of the more exceptional landings we've seen from him. We've saw a few 500s the last few nights, so this is good to see that he's really trying to compete. He's at the point where he's like, you know what? I don't want to be the only one throwing up big numbers, so he's going to get the smallest number he can and hold on to it. Next up, it looks like
there's our friend O'Neill.
Yeah, that's Roger O'Neill.
And we just saw a crosswind gust there kind of blow towards us, so he's going to be battling that a little bit.
But he's got some wind. He's coming in a little faster. He's still slipping it. Again, Roger's first experience here at National Stoll. And keep in mind, this airplane is an airplane he built himself at a very young age. And I love seeing the finish on it. It's just an absolutely beautiful airplane with that SDI wing.
And we can sit here and wax poetic about how he came in really hot. He gave up a lot of distance there with all the speed he carried into the landing. But let's be real. He was still down and stopped sub 350, sub 400 feet. Well, I think we'll see the distance in a minute. That's crazy.
It is, and his first landing was 314 feet. His second was 197, and we see him give a little bit back this time, but his combined score, his best combined score, is 380, which is really good for your first time out here.
For your first time out, and for anything. I think that's one of the things people don't realize is even the 172s, even what Colonel Matt's doing in the 172, really capable airplanes. Here's Warren.
Over the line, heavy under braking. Keep her down, my friend.
Sub
Absolutely
100
beautiful.
feet.
These are light experimental numbers, guys. This is the kind of competition we love to see from Warren.
Seeing him pumping his fist in there, he knew that was a good one. Going to be really, watch this on the replay if you're watching us at home.
There's a reason why there's so many
right
friends
on the
here.
line.
Why he has so many friends watching, why he has so many fans out here cheering for Warren, because you know what? It's hard not to cheer for someone who can land a massive 180 in that few feet.
And I don't know, I said before that Jaden had gotten the closest to the line. That looked almost like a scratch to me. It was right on the edge, the line judge saying it's good.
That was a 71-foot. Nope, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. That was an 89-foot landing accompanied by an 86-foot takeoff. Absolutely tremendous work from Warren. And we are on, my friends, to the next round. That's going to bring us to Luke Spohr, Christian Griwan, John Humbert, Steve Henry, Dennis Long. Some great pilots, some interesting people. It looks like Larry Mednick's joining us as well in that Revo trike, the Evolution Revolt. Very excited to see how all these guys perform. But first up is Luke Spohr in the Legend Moac.
The mother of all the Cubs, I joked before.
Whoa, 74 feet, 72 feet even.
Not messing around. I think the gun racks help.
Oh, I'm
on
sure.
that one. The gun racks give it a little extra lift.
It's actually a very custom vortex generator. I think that
I'll buy that.
They may be full of helium with a takeoff like that. Love to see it. Christian Griwan up next with the 915 powered Super Stol. Christian's running those TK1 shocks, and he's waiting until it just kind of floats off. He didn't pull it off. He just let it happen.
Let that one happen. John Humbert coming up to the line. You know what we did last night? We had a little dinner party at the National Stol Airbnb, and you know what a bunch of Stol pilots do at a dinner party? They watch videos of John Humbert on YouTube.
John tooting his horn, dragging his tail, and off the ground with an incredible angle of attack. We've talked about this before. His angle of attack is slightly affected by the angle of incidence set on that wing, so it looks crazier than it is, but it sure is fun to watch.
And the return of the champion, number 44, Steve Henry on the line, dropping the flaps.
The last time we saw Steve, he was on his nose. 2 days later, he's back to the skies, taking off in less than 15 to 20 feet. Unbelievable. I saw 3 rotations of that tire. Fantastic performance from the newly minted Sensnick nose-tipped. You know, that new propeller from Sensnick, I know they're so happy to have Sensnick here offering them a prop. They said that their team stayed up all night developing that propeller just for that special Apex 300 horsepower motor.
Here's the bright pink Aeropract.
Dennis Long. Exceptional takeoff for an airplane that is not prepared for Stol. This is nothing special. This is an off-the-shelf. And speaking of off-the-shelf, the Revolt from Evolution Trikes, Larry Mednick's 5th design. He's designed 5 different aircraft, and this is one of them. He's asking which wheel does needs to be on the line.
Yeah, you got to get the mains on. I think this might be the first trike in National Stol history.
He's building speed. Watch that bar come out.
Pushing for it. There he goes.
Pretty impressive, 225 feet or so. It looked like to me, I could be wrong. Looks like they're standing closer to the 190.
Let's talk about it as the MOAC comes around. Another sponsor for us, Legend Aircraft. You should check them out at Sun and Fun booth. Mike Delta 1, that's Legend Aircraft here at Sun and Fun 22 in MD1. American Legend Aircraft is building the most innovative and advanced Cubs today. There's only one true original. You can realize your dreams at American Legend Aircraft. And the mother of all Cubs.
We got to talk about this airplane too, and just Legend in general. Legend's finish quality, their paint work over the last probably 12 months, I've never seen anything like it. It's like looking at a bass boat. Just this deep, luscious colors. Make sure you check out their booth over there, MD1. Beautiful aircraft from Legend Cub. And we do have Luke Spohr now on approach in the Legend MOAC.
And we were seeing the replay of Steve Henry's takeoff there. Judges grabbed that at 20 feet. I almost felt like that was shorter than that.
I completely agree. He's really slow. Is he across the line?
That's
it's a scratch. If that wasn't a scratch, it would have been one of our more impressive landings of the night. I know Luke will be frustrated with it, but it's okay. It's his first round. He'll try to get some numbers on the board here on his next go-round. Looks like Steve Henry's going around himself right now.
Yeah, it looks like we got the competitors kind of grouped up there a little bit too much, so they've got to kind of work on spacing. You got people going around. What's funny to me is even with these broadcast headsets on, I could tell that Steve was going around in the pattern because I could hear it.
There's not even a question. You hear that turbo start to spool. John Humbert, now look at the angle of attack here. He is really in position to give one of the best performances to date. Looking like he's going to have it stopped around the 75-foot mark. John had a 50-foot landing in December here. Combined score, I believe, of 65 or something ridiculous last year.
It was incredible. And I think what we talk about a lot is people say, I don't know if I should compete at Steve Henry. Steve Henry this, Steve Henry that. No, he's incredible. But you got people like John making him work for it.
Making him work for it with an airplane that makes, what, a third of the power, just over a third of the power?
Yeah, totally different type of aircraft.
And a totally different style of flying. Now we have Dennis Long in the Vixen, the Aeropract Vixen, first approach. Looks like, ooh, I think he kept it off. No, he didn't. It is a scratch.
by the line judge
Disappointing.
there. Now that's okay. He's new to this tonight, getting it dialed in, getting it figured out. Great to see.
And it's really exciting to see these aircraft dealers who might otherwise be sitting in their booth listening to all the fun, coming out here and having a go at it. Speaking of which, Larry Mednick in the Revo. It's a scratch, but let's see how fast he can get it stopped because he's only running.
Oh, he's just giving it the beans.
He's only got the one brake on the nose.
Oh.
So it's a little bit different. At least I believe that's how most trikes are. His may be different. I used to fly those trikes back in high school, and Larry designed those and built it and sells them out of Zephyr Hills, Florida. Has a great school there, really great people, and I love to see these different types of aircraft coming out here and working on their consistency, working on dialing things in, because the time that you have problems in aviation is when complacency enters the picture. Don't be complacent. Do new stuff. It's good.
Good for Christian Griwan there. Love watching him compete over the past couple, well, I guess the last year or so.
It's a beautiful 2021 Just Aircraft Super Stole coming out of Fairplay, South Carolina. That was a nice landing.
And one of the things that people wonder about when we are in competition, they wonder about passenger comfort, and I'm just here to tell you that it doesn't matter. It's about getting stopped, getting it down. Look at that new prop hub flopping around there.
Steve Henry bringing it in, going for it.
Heavy on the brakes, Steve.
Heavy on the brakes, 54 feet or less.
He is not gun shy at all, given what happened on Tuesday. He's ready to bring it again. Love that. Basically, I mean, people talk about why does he bring the trailer around? Why does he fly in? And the reason why he doesn't fly in is because he pushes that thing so hard, and when you push things hard, they can break, and you want to get back in the game.
Steve is a competitor through and through, from races with his siblings as a child to flying here every day. Steve wants to not only compete, but to win. And Steve, for those of you who don't know, on Wednesday night, Steve had a landing gear failure on a custom-built part that he has built a one-of-one. After about 5,000 landings, it failed. And though he did check it, it was something that was missed, and it failed and left him on his nose, breaking his propeller and damaging one of his leading edge slats. But he's back, and we're excited to have him. With that said, we're going to... All right, we've got someone departing to the south. We're just getting some information from the tower, making sure we keep everything going on. Gary's headed out with a passenger. Let's see how long his takeoff roll is.
And while we watch that there, folks, let's talk about another sponsor. We could not do this without Sarasota Avionics and Maintenance. Get a little fist bump to Steve Henry there. Sarasota Avionics and Maintenance. They're in Sun and Fun Hangar C, Hangar Charlie. They're an avionics and maintenance shop. They were founded on the principles of providing superior service and customer support, of course, at a competitive price. Make sure to stop by and see them. They're all over Florida.
They are all over Florida, but we need to talk about the scores, guys. Steve Henry, total score of 74. John Humbert, 112. Schmidt at 169. That's Gary Schmidt, 169. I got it. They have it in here as Gilar. Warren Grobelaar, 175. Just 6 feet behind that Super Stole. Incredible performance from Warren. And then Jaden Newman at 213 and Christian Griwan 251. We're seeing the numbers drop, and that's what we like to see.
And I think the story of the night right now for me, obviously, is the return of Steve Henry this week. It's also, look at John Humbert, and it's also, look at Gary Schmidt, and it's also, on top of that, Warren Grobelaar in a massive airplane.
Massive airplane, throwing out numbers that we'd expect to see in light experimental. That's what makes this so mental. Look at the angle, start to change, dragging his tail off the ground at a very respectable pace. These are numbers if he can get his landings dialed back. I'll tell you, in December, John Humbert's landings were exceptional. I don't know how he stopped it as quickly as he did. The turbo spool and tails coming off the ground. Peeling off. It wasn't as good as last time, but I'll take 30 feet if I were Steve Henry.
He's missing some slats.
He is
compared to normal.
He's missing 8 feet of slats. All right,
so
that's
maybe
not
some
a small
slats
amount.
Is an understatement. Dennis Long in the Aeropract.
Feeling her off the ground much shorter that time.
He's starting to dial it in. I was going to say, just to put it in perspective, Steve Henry with a 6-foot takeoff. 6-foot takeoff at Outlaw Stole a
Absolutely tremendous.
month ago or so.
Larry Mednick Possibly the only person who could fly this trike better than Larry is his wife, Amy. They got married right here. Wonderful people, heavily involved in the light sport community, the kind of people you'd like to keep as your friends.
Oh, someone says, go Ryan. What's up, Bruno?
We finally get a sign made for the announcers.
For
That
the
never
announcers,
happens.
yeah, the sun's blinding me. Go follow him on Instagram. Fly with Bruno. That's my friend Bruno. What's
Bruno?
up, dude?
Glad to have you here, guys. As the rest of these folks are coming around, let's take just a moment to talk about rugged radios. If you're looking for a true rugged radio, and the National Stoll partner in communications, they specialize in aviation communications for students, flight instructors, charter services, and general aviation pilots. We're actually looking to get some rugged radios in my business because they work.
Well, it's in the name. They're rugged.
That's right. All right, guys. Luke Spohr on approach now in the MOAC, the Legend Aircraft MOAC. Keep her off this time, Luke. Get the power back to it. Listen to that power coming back and in.
Nice.
Very nice. He's got some pretty wheels on there, doesn't he?
He does have some pretty wheels on there. Luke Spohr just won his first place in his class at Swamp Stool this year.
He did indeed. And you know what's interesting is he's been flying Legend Cubs since he was 8 years old.
I suppose that would be true.
I mean, that's a pretty cool thing.
That's pretty incredible. Want to talk about that empty weight. Think about the empty weight of the aircraft, 1,059.
Christian Griwan bouncing it in a little bit, but that's okay. He's getting it back under braking. Carried a little more energy, and the winds have dropped a bit. And there are more people to our right, so we could be getting blocked, but the winds do seem to be coming down pretty significantly. We'll get another weather screen up on there for those on the live stream, just to keep you guys appraised, get a feel for what that weather's doing.
I'm looking for my phone to grab the METARs, and I picked up Eric's phone, and then we got all confused.
John Humber, low approach now, keep it under power. It is
Whoa,
good,
there
heavy
we
under
go.
braking. Very nice. John's going to be happy with that result. Nose wheels back off the ground, taxi it along.
So I have the most current observation for Lakeland Airport here. Still wind 290 at 12 to 20 knots. It doesn't feel that way, but maybe it's the crowd blocking us.
Hey, I'm going to say thank you because I'd be cold. I'm a Floridian, and it's cool tonight, all right?
Here comes Steve Henry, low and to your left.
Keep in mind that the man has a turbo, so he has power lag. He has to be on top of it here, and right there, he's just a moment too late with the power. Creates the scratch, right? That turbo lag, not getting power immediately to the motor, is a challenge. It's one that we've talked about, especially when he's running the higher boost settings, those 25 PSI. It takes a long time, even though it's a small turbo, to get it up to power.
We have some spacing here. We'll see what happens with the Aeropract.
Dennis Long touching down a bit early. It is a scratch, but he's heavier under braking this time, stopping significantly sooner. I think if he were to have stopped, it would have been the 160 range.
Scott Cronk on social says, give Anitra is kind of the person who makes a lot of this National Stoll World go around. Just give Anitra a high five from Colorado.
High five, Anitra.
High five, Anitra from Colorado.
On approach, Larry Mednick in that Revo, the beautiful Evolution Revolt trike. I don't know which engine he has on here, but it's probably 100 horsepower knowing him, maybe about 915. Big, strong, and heavy, designed to be able to take you taken back country. He's flying a small glider on that trike right now. I know he